We now want to take you live to London, where Industry and Trade CS Adan Mohammed is about to give us more details about some of the agreements that have been signed between Kenya and the United Kingdom and discussions that have been or that have taken place as well. CS, asante sana for giving us this opportunity.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. I want to take you back to last year. That was in May 2017. President Uhuru Kenyatta was in the United Kingdom once again. He had a meeting with Prime Minister Theresa May, and some of the issues they discussed, let me talk about three. They talked about the reestablishment of a UK visa processing center in Nairobi. They talked about the lifting of travel advisories in certain locations in Kenya, Lamu, Manda Island, etc. And they talked about the UK extending assistance to Kenya since the ban on miraa took effect to sort of help farmers do more with their land now that they can no longer sell miraa in the United Kingdom. Help us understand, of those three issues, has there been any progress on them at the moment?
Well, first of all, the meeting that President Uhuru Kenyatta is here to attend is a CHOGA meeting as a Commonwealth heads of governments. That covers over 53 nations and the heads of those countries to discuss a number of issues relating to the Commonwealth. And so these are not specific Kenya-UK bilateral engagements that President Kenyatta have come for, but there are a lot of other issues that relate to all the Commonwealth countries that cut across that have been the subject of the discussions during this week. Of course, the official opening of CHOGM is happening today, but in the last few days, there has been a number of discussions touching on issues, trade, issues of health that have been happening on the sidelines of this. So far, those specific issues haven't, been discussed to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
Because these are things that are really, all heads of states tend to be together in these particular meetings.
Can you share with us any agreements that you can say are on their way to sort of fruition, so to speak, or any agreements that have been signed that you can promise Kenyans we are coming back with this from this 5-day visit to the United Kingdom?
Well, I think just for people to understand the background of this Commonwealth heads of government meetings, it happens every 2 years, alternating between London and any other Commonwealth country. As you will recall, a few years ago it happened in Uganda. This time it's in London, and 2 years from now it'll probably be another country outside of the UK. And it's an opportunity for Commonwealth heads of governments to come together to discuss a number of cross-cutting issues that relate to, Commonwealth. And I think this time more than any other time, there has been a number of issues that, have become extremely critical to discuss, especially around trade. Okay. What is going on between the United States and China, the issues touching on Brexit, and what this actually means for us. So the president had the opportunity to chair some sessions that had participants from other heads of governments to discuss issues of trade within Africa, between Africa and within the Commonwealth countries. And so these are all really critical issues now at the time when the open global trade activities that was underpinned by WTO is now beginning to be threatened through some protectionist behaviors that we are seeing happening suddenly amongst the big economies. So those are the kind of issues. And of course, Brexit happening between the UK and Europe is another issue that we need to understand what we need to do as Kenya to make sure that our trade preference with the UK post-Brexit does not get interfered with.
Fair enough, CS. Just a quick one. President Uhuru Kenyatta at his Chatham House speech spoke about repealing the current interest rate caps, and this will be included in the 2018-2019 finance bill. It appears that the president has chosen to play to the tune of international lenders like the IMF instead of the ordinary Kenyan who has a loan and who is now concerned, CS, that their loan rate of repayment will go up very soon.
Well, I think the issue of the interest rate cap has been talked about by the Governor of Central Bank and the CS for National Treasury. I am aware of the conversations that he's had with the stakeholders in Kenya where the CS for Treasury has been very clear that the plan to review the interest rates cap is something that is in motion. And as you know, this has already reached Parliament, where different views and discussions have started taking place. So this is not something new that the president is just coming here and opening up the path the government is taking in reviewing this program. All the president said was that yes, the original intention for which this cap were put in place may not necessarily be serving the people that we wanted that to serve, and therefore, there is a desire to review or to scrap in total some of those issues, and that is a process that has to go through the parliamentary process, and that is where Kenyans will have an opportunity to discuss. But it is not the first time. My colleague Henry Rotich and the Central Bank Governor have had opportunities to share with Kenyan stakeholders about the need to review this, and that this is something that may serve the long-term interest of Kenya.
What guarantees can you give Kenyan business owners who are now thinking to themselves, the loan that we took last year, I mean, the repayment rates will go up, in terms of protecting local business vis-a-vis what the president said? What guarantees can you give local investors?
Well, you see, the interest rates issue is something that you may recall has been there since President Moi's time. And it has a lot to do with the exorbitant interest rates that the financial services sector have been charging. And they have their own reasons, including some of the issues around the business environment and the risk, especially around the recovery rates of some of their assets. So that is the genesis of how this bill came into place in the first place. And it was intended in the first instance to support the small and medium-sized businesses who tended to suffer the most from one, not being able to actually get the loan, but if they did get it, it was extremely at high interest rates. And so this bill was intended to serve that group, which is vulnerable, the ones that are driving our economy and create the necessary jobs. What we have noticed is following the enactment of this law, the people who we thought would benefit most from this ended up actually getting the biggest hit, because banks decided to slow down and withdraw from lending to this, because they still believe that the risk associated with these small businesses is still very high. And so we want to see how we can get back to the market forces and people are able to borrow at a reasonable rate. But that said, I think we still have to do some work together with the relevant stakeholders to make sure that interest rates are going to be manageable as a way of driving the economy going forward.
Finally, CS, the last time the president was in the United Kingdom, he got guarantees from organizations like the BBC that they would ramp up their investment in Kenya. Are you expecting to hear any guarantees right now from companies in the UK that in the next couple of months they will be setting up business or increasing investment in Kenya? Any guarantees that you can talk about now?
Well, the president did meet with the private sector here. A number of UK investors were here to make sure that the president talks to them face to face to discuss opportunities. And whether you are talking sectors like agriculture, energy, oil and gas, a number of key investors had a private meeting with His Excellency the President whilst he was here. And the level of interest in investing in Kenya by British investors is at an all-time high. I think there has been, of course, perceptions that every 5 years we have political challenges that tend to make people hold, wait and see. But the fact that we went through that successfully and the recent famous handshake that happened has really made people look at Kenya in a significantly positive way that will drive more investments into this. So I think of course, of Talo Oil, that is a big investor that is in there. We have oil and gas companies. We've got energy companies in Menengai that are investing. Kakuzi was here, the Finlays was here, and a whole, Unilever was here, Vodafone is here. These are all people who are not only investing, but want to do more. Diageo, that is investing £100 million investment in the Kisumu plant that is going to be opened in July this year.
Okay, CS, thank you so much for taking time from, of course, what must be a very busy program there to give us updates in regards to investment and trade and President Uhuru Kenyatta's visit to the United Kingdom.